Hello, and welcome to OIB Nancy News. Today we will be focusing on the earthquake that happened in Haiti in 2010. In 2010, a huge earthquake hit Haiti, one of the poorest countries in the Western Hemisphere. The epicenter of the quake happened around 10 miles from the capital of Haiti, Port-au-Prince. Many survivors said that screams and building collapsing were heard during the quake. Moreover, the presidential palace was hit. An estimated 3 million people have been shaken by this earthquake. The earthquake measured as a 7 on the Richter scale, causing major damage. Now, please welcome Professor Kush. She is an earth science specialist who will answer all of your questions about this earthquake.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Kush and I'm an earth science specialist. Today in OIB News, we are going to analyze one disaster, the earthquake in Haiti. This was a natural hazard.
What is the difference between a risk and a hazard?
Good question. A risk is an element or a course involving in certain danger. A hazard is a possible source of danger. This earthquake could happen anywhere. Most of earthquakes occur along the edge of oceanic and continental plates. The plates under the oceans are called oceanic plates and the rest are continental plates. The plates are moved around by the motion of a deeper part of the earth called the mantle. Earthquakes can also occur far from the edges of plates but along faults. There's 3 types of faults: normal faults, reverse faults, and strike-slip faults.
What were the consequences of the earthquake in Haiti?
The earthquake in Haiti caused major damage in Port-au-Prince and Jacmel and in other settlements in the region. Haiti lies close to the boundary of 2 tectonic plates, so the Caribbean plate shifted by about 20 millimeters in a year, relative to the North American plate. The first hazard of the earthquake was the shaking ground and caused a second hazard such as collapsing buildings, roads were blocked, electricity supplies were disrupted, the public telephone system was knocked out with no signal, the population lost a great deal of what they built up over years, and all public services were damaged.
Why did the earthquake happen?
There is no evidence of surface rupture, and based on seismological, geological, and ground deformation data, it did not involve significant lateral slip on the main Enrique fault. For any country, this would have been a major disaster. However, as a very poor nation, Haiti was badly placed to cope with such an event.
Thank you, Professor Kush, for this information about earth science. If you would like to read more articles about this subject, you can go to earth.science.dr.kush.information.world.haiti.com. Now that we know a bit more information about earth science, we will listen to a testimony of a survivor. Please welcome Ed.
Hello. Thank you for speaking with us about the earthquake.
Yes, not a problem.
Can you tell us what happened?
I was in my room with my sisters when we heard the sirens. My father prayed and then the building started collapsing and it was horrible. People were screaming and it was a chaos. And my little sister Mariana died, but my parents and I were lucky we were alive. And thank you for all the international help and prayers. May God be with you.
Thank you, Ed.
Great commentary. Now let's focus on how everybody reacted to this disaster. Reporter Stiller is on location and is asking the important questions.
Hello.
What were the short-term consequences of the earthquake?
The local authorities sent rescue teams in order to help people who were hurt
by collapsing buildings and other infrastructures. They gave water, food and medical aid to victims. The nation suffered from a public health epidemic. Cholera appeared for the first time in 100 years. It killed many people. Disease spread and people needed to be rehoused. Several orphanages were destroyed during the earthquake. Many foreign countries such as the USA, Canada and the Netherlands started adopting children, which helped the country a lot. Easing refugees into Canada was discussed by the Canadian Prime Minister. And in the USA, Haitians were granted temporary protected status. This measure permitted about 100,000 alien Haitians in the US to stay legally for 18 months. How about the long-term consequences?
In case of other disasters in the future, there will be more campaigns to show what to do in case of a disaster, and there will be a better emergency plan for families. Currently, experts in Haiti are trying to find sustainable solutions to water supply, food, sanitation and shelter. The focus is on using locally available, inexpensive and low-tech resources to create water filtration, hurricane and earthquake-resistant shelter from renewable material. Donation would be very useful. To donate, go to donate.haiti.earth.dollar.money.garden.shovel.com. Back to you, Blackbird.
This information was brought to you from Reporter Silaire. Tune in next week for some new information about the world around you. Good night from OIB Nancy News.
As there will be a great many
Problem. Je suis désolée.
Thank you, Professor Kush, for this information about
The sun!
Thank you, Professor Kush. If you want to read more information
To tell you I'm sorry.
Action. Ah.
Thank you for the educational.
Thank you, Professor Kush. Putain, mais j'arrive pas.
C'est bon.
donation would be very useful. To donate, go to
Quick started.
For this information about earth science. If you are interested in more articles about this subject, go to Earth.
On va mettre ça dans les bloopers.